be the same.
Can't, yeah.
Okay, so let's move to what you also do on the side, and you do it like proper. Like if you guys just, so she does production
Yeah.
and like travel videos, and should I call it like content creation?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
It's content creation,
content creation,
production.
all sorts of production. We do corporate
Yeah.
videos, adverts,
Listen,
basically
guys.
anything creative.
Guys, if you
through
see her
video.
travel videos,
Thank you so much.
if you see her travel, and that's why it's so important for me to bring people like you in this platform, because I know at times when you go to other segments, people then don't really get to know that you're also doing this.
Exactly.
So
It's
she
true.
does like amazing
Thank you.
production. Like,
I think
oh,
I think being a musician and doing so many YouTube videos, I
Yeah.
mean more than 40 YouTube videos. A lot of those you don't have a budget, so you have to produce them yourself. You have to create them yourself.
now it comes down to creativity.
It comes down to creativity, and then I decided. People used to ask me, "Hey, will you shoot a video for me?" And I was like, "I don't shoot." And then I was like, "But I do produce, and I do edit, and
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought, wow, why don't I? Why don't I just give this a go?
You edit with Final Cut?
I edit with Final Cut. Yeah, and I love editing. I love editing, and I'm obviously like constantly learning. But
Yeah.
you're a great editor. You need to give me a couple of tips.
No,
for
listen.
sure.
Let's work. Let's just work. That's
Yeah,
how
exactly.
like you. I think we can easily like exchange ideas.
Exactly.
But the moment we start saying like, can you give me tips on this? We'll keep saying that till December.
Till
But if we
December.
work on a
Get
project
on a
together,
project and see. Exactly.
we're all doing it. And then
Exactly.
there are all these different ways of now you can share like project files. I can edit
Right.
something,
Send
put
it
it
to
online.
me.
You do
Exactly.
like a bit of
Exactly.
tweaking. Why don't we do that?
Done. That's a done deal.
Hey.
That's another
Okay.
promise. Okay, perfect.
So she does amazing production for people who haven't, like even I noticed like from your, are they travel or touristy videos?
So how it all started?
Yeah, how did that start?
So there's a massive love of travel for me, and I always like to think life is so short, as we have seen recently, with the Ethiopian Airlines
Yeah.
plane, and then a plane flies overhead at the same time. That's really strange. But also the Jisd attacks. You realize that life really is fleeting, and I realized that I think we put so much pressure on ourselves in so many aspects of our life, when we really should just be putting no pressure on ourselves and just be happy. Find things that make you happy. Your family makes you happy. Whatever your passion is that makes you happy. And so I decided that I love to travel. I love to sing. I love to create things, to be expressive.
Yeah.
How is there a way that I can put all of those things together? And yes, it's probably not going to be the most amount of wealth that I'm going to receive, but I'm going to be happy every day.
You'll be happy.
And so I used to, I would go out and travel to places and then create beautiful videos for the hotels. Very experiential videos, not your run-of-the-mill corporate videos.
Yo.
Things that give people a sense of feel rather than just, seeing the place. What is the feeling when you go to Samburu Elephant Bedroom? What is the feeling when you're at Maragenche? What is the feeling when you are on the beach at Afro Chic or the Maji?
Yeah.
And so, those experiential videos were just is basically just raw. You go stay there and shoot a whole bunch of pretty things. And then different hotels started really, really enjoying and liking those videos. So then I started getting, more and more work.
Those phone calls.
Exactly.
So it is actually possible for Kenyans to actually get those phone calls and make travel videos.
Big time. Big time. I mean, tourism is a huge commodity here in Kenya. So we have to tap into the market,
People in other countries save for like 2 or 3 years to actually just come and visit
here
Kenya.
Exactly.
Yet we're next to all these places and we don't even.
We don't go. We don't venture.
Not-
We don't. Yeah, we don't find the treasures and then share it with the world. Not even just with tourists, but with ourselves.
Yeah.
There's so many places like Mount Suswa, for example. It's not the easiest
I don't know
to
what that
get
is.
to. Camping at Mount Suswa, if you haven't done it, you must do it. It's fantastic. These are experiences that I think, once you find, you should be able to share. And I think production companies like Roots do this amazingly. They literally take every route and find these beautiful places and then share them. And I think that there's something to be said about this industry. So yes, I mean, travel production, that's what we started with, and then we started doing adverts for different corporate
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
who wanted things, and it's now become like a fully fledged production company, which is so exciting.
That's the thing. Once you start doing something like for fun, and especially when it comes to just like creating in general,
Yeah.
and then somebody actually comes to you and tells you like, yo, can we pay you to actually do this for us? We want something like
this,
close
something
to this.
authentic, genuine.
Yeah, just genuine.
Yes,
You
I
having
love it.
fun and just, I mean, when you're doing that, it doesn't feel like work.
No,
At
not
some
at all.
point,
It's just
you start, even when they're paying you, like, I'm actually getting paid to do this.
imagine.
And
Exactly.
there's nothing more satisfying to an artist more than that. I mean, I think that's
Exactly.
the best feeling ever.
And to be able to be creative every day.
Yeah,
So even
exactly.
though you are writing 15 storyboards, out of which only 4 of those companies are going to give you the go-ahead and have the budget to go ahead with this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of time and effort that you're putting in with these ideas and storyboards and all the rest of it. But it's not time that is badly spent.
Yeah.
You are being creative. You are using your mind. You are getting more and more ideas together. So yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest industry.
Yeah.
This is part of
yeah.
the entertainment industry. People
Oh,
just
yeah.
don't have plenty of budget for this.
Yeah, they have budget, but they're always like, it's not that serious.
But
We
it
can do
really
without.
is that serious.
But the thing right now is like, it's gotten to a point where like they don't have a choice. They're like, oh my God, I wish we started working with these people earlier, because now everything makes sense. Everybody needs content right now.
The kind of content as well, we're getting more and more, what's the word? We don't focus so much as a society, reading things, blogs, magazine articles, newspaper articles. We do that less. We want to share
Visuals.
And not even 1, 2, 3 minute visuals, even 30-second visuals, 15-second visuals.
Even 10-second.
But they have to be so clever, and they have to be so, they're so important. It's also important for your SEO, for your search engine optimization.
Yeah.
You want to create a footprint. So if you're not doing that now, you're going to be left behind the game.
You'll be wiped out. You either
So
join or just...
Content is something that's incredibly important. And I love that this world is transitioning to this place, because it's forcing kids and everybody to just be creative, find different ways to express certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything. If you
Use
like
the things around
cooking, if you love doing this, all you need to do is take your phone out, hit record, and share it.
And share it.
And
I think a lot of people, though, think this whole sharing and pushing a button and having your entire life online is difficult. And I also, I think when I have babies, I'm like, I really don't want them to be on their phone and their iPad. I want them to go camping and climb trees. But the realization of this world is, if we're going to take my kids away from that, they're going to be so far behind this new generation and this new life. And we have to be able to embrace it.
Well, just embrace it. Like, you don't even want to imagine what your kids will be doing. If like you're always constantly like on your Instagram, you're always on your WhatsApp doing A, B, C, and D, you don't want to imagine what your kids will be doing. So when it comes to production, would you say, because we've just mentioned bits of it, have you had like any difficulties with like companies that are approaching you? They're like,
so many difficulties.
haven't even finished the question, but you can just feel like you already know what I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I'll tell you what, like I remember I saw, like the first time I think I saw one of your videos, even before we met.
Right.
But I was like, there's no way this is a Kenyan video. It can't be. It's not possible. I'm sure they hired like some people, like it was some tourists who came to the country and shot this. And, maybe they got Alicia Popat because she's Kenyan and, threw her in there to increase the views and stuff. But there is no way possible until I found out that it's actually you.
It's me.
Was behind the production. And just throwing yourself as like part of the character and everything. So I really respect and admire that.
Thank you.
Because the first thing that came to my head is like, it can't be Kenyan.
Oh, I love
that.
I love that you...
So I'm just trying to imagine if like a company comes to you and, they tell you like, we'd want this kind of production. We'd want you to fly to this place and shoot for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I tell you what the difficulties are.
Yeah.
Firstly, as you know, because you do production, the process is, there's a process to follow.
Yeah.
And now for us having to explain to a corporate that first you need to create the flow and the content before you color grade or you put anything in After Effects or you do any of that.
Yep.
First, give us a picture lock. Once that's the case, I can take it into DaVinci, we can take it into, whatever it is that we need to do, color grade it, stabilize it, this, that, and the other. That for me has been such a nightmare because everybody just wants to see a finished product first and then make a whole bunch of changes. And that is just, it's time
That's not how it
consuming and
works.
it's impossible. So having to explain that first and then still, after you explain it, people say, I don't like the quality of this or I don't like the quality of that, or there's, the color is not nice here. And that for me, I really have to have found like a way in which to explain it in the best way possible. And this gives me a lot of problems, I won't lie. It really does. The second thing is paying on time or even just paying at all. We are not just artists. This is a job. You don't go to an accountant, get them to do your books and then say, I didn't really like how you did that, so I'm not going to pay you or take another 3 months to pay you.
Yeah.
You don't go for a doctor's appointment and not pay for the consultation.
And tell the doctor when I'm feeling much better, I'll come pay you when I feel much better.
Exactly.
That's not how
it's
it
not
works.
like that. So why do people feel that they can do that to production or to artists or to content creators? That doesn't make any sense. We're still doing a very, very, very valuable job, Of course, because it's creative, everybody thinks that everyone has a different idea of what they have in their head. That I totally understand. So in this industry, it's not easy. What I have in my head may not be what you have in your head, and it might not be what you have in your head. So I know there'll be a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
But there is a mutual respect that I think needs to be hammered in when it comes to things like this. We spend a lot of effort and time.
I see the frustration on your face.
Yeah, you see it, right? You see
Yeah.
it. But look, here's to hoping that those things get more clear and better. And it's, I think, also up to us to try and find a middle ground. So if a client really can't see where this is going to go, we'll finish the final product. We'll give it to you. We'll bite the bullet. But these kind of processes are important.
But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with like a client? Because I recently had this thing with this client.
Yeah.
Because I made my rate card, and after just a few frustrations here and there, and my rate card is like, you book me with this, and before I even start production, you pay me the other half, right? No, not deposit. The other final half.
Right,
Yes,
okay. No one
yes.
ever does that with me.
Yeah. No, but I'll tell you why. I had to do that, because my situation is a little bit different when it comes to production. I work alone.
Okay, yeah.
I work alone. So, like, when you're calling me in, not unless I just maybe bring somebody to carry like my extra gear and stuff, like I'll write the script, I'll shoot,
edit,
color grade, direct, do all those things and stuff. So when I present the final video and you tell me like, do you think we can shoot again? Or listen, no, or listen, no. hold on. Or like, I just don't like it. So I'll ask you, like, I'll put myself like, okay.
What don't you like?
Like, yeah, like just tell me what do you want then?
What can I change? How can I?
So the client will go like, let's say, I don't know what I want, but I don't like it. So where does that leave you?
Where does it leave me?
Where does that leave me? Because like you don't like, even if when it comes to brainstorming, you're like, no, you just do your thing.
Right.
And then when the final product is done and everything.
I mean, even if you get things signed off,
it
doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
They can literally turn around and say, yeah, I know I signed off on that, but I don't like it. And it's honestly, I've really had that recently so much, and I just feel like I am ready to give you everything that you want.
Yeah.
I want your company to succeed. My job is to make sure that we create something of value.
Yeah.
I will never take a shortcut. I will never take the easy way out. I will produce this for you. But tell me what it is that you want.
Plus,
give me enough feedback for me to be able to make this better for you.
Let's be on the same page.
And we'll do it. But do not ask for like a hand and take an arm or the entire body.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't take
So
advantage.
you've come across
I
that, I'm
have
sure, lots of
indeed.
times, right?
Many
And even for me at times, it's like, but we paid you, and then I'm like, here's the thing. It doesn't mean like just because you've paid me,
I have to do.
like like you have to. I think there's some people who actually like just were paying me so that they can tell me my work is not good enough. And I was like, what? It's not even about the pay. And there are even some instances where I've had to refund, but right now I don't do that anymore because I have like paperwork and stuff. But there's a situation where it happened and I actually just refunded the cash because like I was like, I just need to maintain my sanity. I don't want to go crazy. I don't need you to call me at 3 at night to tell me A, B, C, and D, and still even after I still finish doing that, it still doesn't satisfy you.
What happens if a client decides just not to pay you?
I've had those ones as well, and unfortunately I've just had to let go at times. No, listen, I know at times I have, and that's why like I had like to come up with this new rate card policy where like you book me with half,
Right.
and then before I start production you give me
pay
the
the
other
half.
half, because I had to come to that because like so many people like played me in so many different ways, and even just like I know getting a lawyer and doing all these things, it's
Costs
just too
money.
it costs money and
You
time.
can't socially shame anyone.
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And you
Although
also
I
don't
want
want,
to sometimes.
yeah, you don't want to, because I think people can push you to that point.
Oh,
But I
yes.
don't want to get to that. So I'm always telling
Exactly.
the rate card says this way,
And that's how it has
because
to
I'm just trying to avoid all these other things. And, as much as I love and respect you as a client, we have to
be. We have
create
to
this.
follow it this way. So
Yeah.
I think I need to do that. I think I'm a little too
You-
I'm a
you-
little too nice and a little too too giving.
Yeah.
And I think that I need to have that as well.
I've
Because
seen your production, Alicia. Like if you guys go to her Instagram right now, you see what she was shooting like yesterday. You guys were using like a red.
we were shooting a very cool video for a casino.
Listen,
It was
if
very
I
cool.
shoot with a red and you tell me that you're not paying me,
Exactly.
I'd
What
go
do you want me
mad.
to do?
I'd go mad.
Yeah.
So you see, you don't want, because you don't want those. And like I say, all an artist has or a creative is their mind.
Thoughts.
Their mind.
Yeah.
Like their mind, it's so important for your mind to be clear-headed, because you might even take your frustrations to the next client who's calling you, and you have all these restrictions and stuff.
Exactly.
And you have to realize, like, this is a whole new person. You don't have to treat them
The same.
badly because the previous client was like this.
Exactly.
So you're carrying frustrations from one client to another. You don't need to do
yeah.
that.
Basically, I think we need to grow some cojones. That's what I think.
Yeah, just change the way
Yeah.
your payment and stuff works, because your
Absolutely.
stuff is insane.
Thank you. I
Your
really
production,
appreciate that.
oh, your
I really
production,
appreciate that. Thank you.
production is insane. So when it comes to like content creation, let me just go with just a few more questions
Sure.
on production, because now we've changed like from commercials like that used to go on TV, and now it's like summarizing like highlights
Yeah.
highlights of something, 10, 15, 30 seconds. That's changed from the old school ways
Of,
that people.
of creating content.
Yeah. Have you had problems like just finding clients who would pay and also like just appreciate like just your niche of work?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Up until recently, I think a lot of clients would not understand that whole sort of, sort of genuine 15, 20 second raw content creation. But, Masai Markets is partnering with Glovo, this really cool new app. And I love this app. I just love it.
I've seen that. We have to talk about that.
I love this
Yeah.
app, and Glovo, for example. I was like, look, if Masai Markets are going to partner with you, if we benefit, you benefit. And I see the kind of content that they put out, and it's so clever. It really is just people using the app, engaging with the app, and just 15, 20 seconds on Snapchat or on Instagram or on Facebook.
Posting.
Really, really nice content ideas, fun content ideas, and putting them out. And although I know this takes a long time, it's not just, it's not going to happen tomorrow. You're not going to get, 1,000 downloads on your app. But the awareness of what you actually do, the real life engagement of what you actually have with Glovo, that's what matters. And they've picked up on that, and I think that's amazing. So for other corporates, if I mention that, how about you get a couple of food vloggers or people to create very clever content around your brand. They'll be like, what do we get out of it? How does it translate into sales? It doesn't have to translate into sales yet. It's a long-term thing.
It's not even about sales anymore. Any smart person will know it's about brand visibility right now. It's not like, if I shoot this for you and post it, you're gonna get like all these clients. No, now it's all about visibility. Who's seeing your brand?
What is your brand? What is the message you're telling the world, and what is your footprint?
Yeah.
When somebody hashtags whatever the company or the client is, that should come up. Things should come up. And obviously, remember, like, testimonials and word of mouth work really, really well in Kenya. So thus, testimonials from people that you trust, that goes a really, really long way. Especially in Kenya. So
I mean, it's tricky, but we're heading there, because like even right now, most brands and companies don't have a choice.
Right.
You have to engage with this. We have to engage because we're the ones who are grounded. We know what will resonate to different kinds of people, audience. Because now, even like for agencies, as much as they're there, they're not grounded.
They're not on the ground.
They're not on the ground. They don't know what's happening.
Because
like a client would come, like they have millions and millions of shillings in budget, but they do this advert, they do billboards and stuff, but nobody's looking at billboards anymore.
No.
Yeah, nobody's connecting to any of those anymore.
And the amount that you're spending on one billboard, spend on some clever content creation.
The impact is
huge.
Yeah. Makes a big difference.
Big time.
Yeah, so I mean, content creation is definitely picking up in Kenya. They don't have a choice anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You either like just join us or like you'll just
or
be left.
behind.
Yeah, you'll just be left behind. So